Hi there. Thank you for your interest in joining our Instant Imprints team. Just wanted to take a little bit here and give a little background, hopefully answer some questions about joining our sales team and the sales team opportunity. So we put this together for you. I'm going to get started here with a little bit of history. So my name is Brian Drysdale. I am the owner of Instant Imprints in Delaware. We started 18 years ago in 2007. We've gone through several evolutions over those 18 years, as you would anticipate. Our initial model was to be in a retail shopping center, a little bit of a smaller footprint, and working on engaging clients that happen to be in that center as well as outside the center. A couple years ago, we made the significant shift and moved to an industrial park that nearly tripled our square footage and gave us the space and the ability for us to scale and grow our business. We had to iron out some systems in that transition over the last couple of years. We've grown our production team. We've figured out how to get things to run smoothly inside a much larger facility. So we have finally gotten comfortable and confident that we're able to handle the increased volume. And so now we're ready to build out that robust sales team. So that's why we're talking. Uh, Typically, we've got four markets that we tend to lean towards. The track that we fall into in this business, in this industry, is anyone could be a client for us, and we can print just about anything for anyone, which makes our conversation a little bit tricky. So, in order to help get people new to our sales team up and running as quickly as possible, get you as successful as fast as possible, we focus into three or four buckets to get started. Small and medium businesses is really our bread and butter. The 10 to 30, 10 to 40 employees. Uh, a lot of trades are involved there. We're able to do a lot for them. Their buying patterns uh, help align with our skills and our model, where repeat purchases throughout the year work. Their lead times normally align with ours, where we can turn things around quickly and help them reach their goals. Schools and universities are fantastic. You need to be in lockstep with them. So in reality, to have a successful relationship with schools and other educational institutions, you really just need to almost be the face and recognize the mayor of the school. You're always there, and that will really allow you to make that solid relationship. Those universities have so much going on that until that relationship is cemented, it is easy for them to drift back to whoever they used to use or online or whatever's the path of least resistance. We need to be that path of least resistance. So not annoying, but always there and always available for them. Event organizers, there's kind of two ends to that one. Uh, we want the good ones. We want the event organizers that are planning a month out, understand that, hey, we need good favors for everybody. What can we do? Hey, we need uh, centerpieces on each of the tables, highlighting the sponsors. How can we make that work? What we don't want are the event organizers that are coming to us on Thursday for an event Saturday morning. Hey, I need a sponsor sign. Can you throw something together? Here's all the logos. I don't know what the quality is. So that's the side of event organizers that we're not looking for. And then corporate clients, those are awesome, but they tend to take a lot longer for us to build that relationship, and their buying cycle tends to take longer. The other three buying cycles tend to be a month-ish, maybe less. Corporate clients, from what we've seen, while they might have a need in the next month, they've already started vetting their vendors, and so it just takes a little bit longer to get into their buying cycle. So it's not that we want to ignore our corporate clients. We certainly want to work towards them, and but they're more the slow burn while we're waiting to get the corporate clients up and engaged with us. focusing on another target market will really help get you off the ground uh, much faster. So we have a few different ways that we start our conversations with our potential clients. And again, back to we can print just about anything with a logo. What we found, we are very heavy in apparel. And so oftentimes our conversations start with screen printing or embroidery. What we found is by starting there, that kind of ends the conversation. We've used up our currency, our capacity with the conversation by the time we're finished talking about all the nuances with screen printing, how many colors, how many locations, long sleeve, short sleeve, front, back, polyester, cotton, blend. There's so many choices that go into your screen printing or your embroidery that by the time we're finished talking about that, the client is pretty much done with the conversation. What we found is if we start with yard signs, a lot of our clients need yard signs, and then they will also need apparel as well. Yard signs are a very quick conversation to the point because they're a digital print. It's single sided, double sided. Do you need stakes or no, and how many? And that's it, right? Conversation's over. You're ready to capture that information, and then hey, so we've got the yard sign set, all good there. Do you guys need any apparel? How are you looking for your hoodies? That kind of conversation. It's much easier instead of after a 10-ish minute conversation with apparel. Hey, do you also need yard signs? The reflex answer is no, we're good. So what we've found is if we flip that, start with the yard signs, that goes a much smoother and allows for further conversation. Helping you join the team and get up to speed as quickly as possible. Again, our goal is to get you as successful as possible as quickly as possible. And so again, we've got kind of these four areas that we work with. There's training that goes into this industry. There's the minimal that you need, and then there's the ongoing, always learning part to the training. So Uh, first off, we just get some basic product knowledge in there, just so you're comfortable with what we're offering. Uh, we could go on forever with all the different nuances of the different products that we have to offer. There's thousands upon thousands of different products that we have in our capabilities of producing and getting to our clients. But let's try and find a way to have that conversation as simple as possible. That will, one, help you get up to speed, and two, keep the conversation simple when you're talking with your clients. So that should only take a couple days. Really, all the training to get you to start talking to clients should be less than a week. And in reality, that's really what we want, is to have you start talking to clients in that first week while we're still side by side, Velcro to each other in training. So any bumps that come up, we can just help you right through them. There's some cross-selling tactics, as I mentioned previously, adjusting our conversation. So there's easier starting points, uh, but there are some other tactics that we have as well to help with the cross-selling of the products that we offer. Several things that we use to help track our CRM is something that is specific to our franchise. We have a back end CRM. At some point, they're working on getting that linked to our point of sale software. So that would be awesome once that happens. Like most CRMs, it's a little clunky. It's not flashy, um, but it works and it's meant for the back end. So it gets the job done. And then we have a rolling 12-month look at your sales. Obviously, as you're starting, we're at 0, so we gotta fill that first 12 months. But it's really 13, so we're gonna look at what did you do for the last 12 months and what's the next month up from a year ago, so you can kinda see what to anticipate and let that roll from there. That will help you kinda see your peaks and valleys and help us try and find patterns, to see where you're successful and where do you need more help. Speaking of help and support, there's a team approach that we have. The team, I will help you get up to speed with training. We have others on the sales team that are available to help answer questions. And our production team is accessible as well. Uh, we have our production team in Newcastle, Delaware. They are awesome people. We don't want to go to them every time there's a question because they have production to get done. But if there is a question of, hey, how is this going to come out in the final product, or are we going to have a good result? They're certainly available to be part of that conversation and happy to do that because they want to make sure that the client's expectations match what we can actually do. Uh, so the production team is certainly part of this conversation. And then there's a review that goes as well. Kind of the reason why we track enough things, we don't like micromanaging. I despise it. I think it's a waste of everyone's time. But we do need to have certain things that are tracked so we can review what works, what doesn't work, where there's opportunities for improvement, how to get better, and everything along those lines. And then finally, the other thing that we focus on is how do you get started? So we have some outlines and some conversation pieces to start with to kind of get things up and going. You'll massage it. It's not really a script per se. What I've found is people get a little bit too robotic when they're scripts, but there's things that we want to learn about our clients, and it's not necessarily things that we learn once and never talk about again. But it's good conversation starters and pieces of information that help us build that relationship with our clients. And then we've got some numbers to help with that funnel. So as we start from the top and work our way down the funnel, how does that improve, and what numbers do you need to hit in order for you to be hitting the sales numbers that you should be? So here's our process for you. Again, we're going to establish that target market preference. You're going to pick one, maybe two for you to get started at. So if you've got a background in sports, well, then maybe we take a look and see what the sport opportunities are. If you have a background in schools, then let's find schools that you're already have conversations with or comfortable with. Let's find your target market and then let you go into that where you're most comfortable. After we're comfortable there, then of course we can grow into other target markets, whether it's location or industry, whatever that may be. Uh, your lead generation, there are some things that we're able to pull and share with our sales team, and then it's a lot of being visible, getting out there, letting people know who you are, what you're doing, how you can help them and their business. So that's a lot of referrals. There's some online social media work that we do as a company, and you can do individually, uh, and then some other content that we build. Uh, so our contact tracking, this is when we start getting into the math of everything. So what we have found is 25 contacts per week is kind of that established part of the funnel. Now, by contacts, what do we mean? Uh, we're not talking about I sent out 25 emails this week. Cool. It's more I've talked to 25 people in an effort to set up a lunch, breakfast, coffee, whatever it might be. Uh, so it's the next level to that. So the part that we don't really have a way of knowing until we start tracking it is how many people do you need to outreach to get down to those 25 conversations that'll happen each week. That could happen at networking events as long as they are the right kind of networking events. It could be talking to referral groups or networking groups. There are several different ways that we can get to those 25, but each week we're looking for 25 contacts, which should lead to 10 client meetings per week. Right, and those 10 client meetings per week should lead to the right amount of orders per week. And of course, these are all going to flex a little bit depending on your approach. You might be a little bit better in some spots. You might need a little bit more volume in others. And that's why we've got our review, and we'll make those tweaks for it. So we're able to handle that, and it's continual. We want to make sure that we're all always getting better. That's one of our core values is to really just always improve ourselves. We it's elite, that is the value of ours, but elite is not a destination, it's a journey, so it's always trying to improve and get better. So that really is true throughout the whole team. Our compensation. So this is based off of our rolling 12-month, one of the reasons why we have the tool. So your first 75,000 in sales, your compensation is 15% commission. And then from 75 to 200, you're at 20%. And then everything over 200, you're at 25%. So realize you're talking to the owner here. The owner tends to fall in the worst case scenario. Does that work? And as opposed to painting this most awesome, wonderful picture and the sky's the limit. While the sky is the limit, I do kind of play off of expectations and will the expectations work? And then assuming we can outperform those expectations. So our math here, and you'll see this shortly, is expecting $1,000 a day in sales. And that's not as difficult as it may look, but that's kind of what the math is based off of as we move forward. When we look at our sales, typically what we see is all of the sales that we have, 80% of those come from a previous client. So we do a very good job of retaining our clients. Now it's time for us to grow that family, to grow that base. So what this really should mean is each year you should be able to build off the previous year. The rolling 12-month, your compensations, it builds over the last 12 months. So it's an overall 12-month. We don't restart January. We don't restart on the anniversary of your hire. It's all over 12 months, and you should be able to easily build from one year to the next. So how do we get to $1,000 orders? 250 double-sided yard signs with stakes is actually a little over 1,500. You do, 3 or 4 of those a week, and you're done. You've made your 5,000 for the week. You're good. Uh, just under 96 ring spun t-shirts, 100 of those, two color front, two color back. You're looking at $1,000. Uh, Polo shirts, standard quality. You're not anything crazy quality. We're not doing the cheapest either. But 36 polyester polo shirts embroidered just in the left chest, that's 1,100. And then if we do a 36 hoodie order, two color front, two color back, another 1,100. There are plenty of other ways that we easily get to $1,000, but this is just a quick example of how we can quickly get to $1,000. So how does the math work in your compensation? So if you average $1,000 a day, as you work through those uh, levels of compensation, your first year, you're a little over 50,000. If you do the exact same volume, $1,000 a day, because you've already hit the $200,000 level, so you're at 25% for everything, you'll make 65,000 your second year. Now, remember, business owner, worst case scenario, how do we make worst case scenario work? Reality is 1,500 should be more of an expectation. $1,500 a day, right? You sell 250 yard signs a day, you're good. And there's plenty of business out there. So $1,500 a day, year one, your salary, again, you're filling all of those levels. You're a little over 83,000. Year two, same exact volume, right? We haven't added any. We're still averaging 1,500. You're just under 100,000 for year two. So that is our story. That is the overview of our sales team opportunity as we are looking for things. I hope that answered some questions for you, and looking forward to learning more about you and seeing if we are a good fit for each other, because that's really the best way to get all this to work. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Talk soon. Thank you very much.